Welcome back to my video, welcome back to my channel. Today something about prepping, but a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking about a chicken coop. Now I mentioned that I have chickens as a part of prepping, and also a garden as part of prepping. Now it's the start of spring, so we need to get cracking on with starting the veggie garden, let's say, and that's why I have to start with chicken coop first, and I will explain why in this video. So about a year ago I started building a chicken coop, and I've used information from several people, either that I know or people on the internet, to build my own chicken coop. I did the basics, but I underestimated one thing, and that is that chickens, even though you cut the wings, or the feathers I should say, to prevent them from flying, let's say, they still jump really high. And so my fence was about 1.2 meters high, or 4 feet off the ground, and the chickens just jumped over it all the time. And we tried to put some spikes on it, but you know, they tried once or twice and then the spikes broke off. These were plastic spikes, and so that really didn't help a lot. Now, why is this a problem? Well, first of all, chickens, they shit 10 times a day at least, everywhere and anywhere. And second, chickens like to dig, so they constantly were digging up our veggie garden. And then the other thing is that obviously they like vegetables, so they are constantly eating at or picking at our vegetables. So for example, our pumpkins were completely destroyed because they grow on the ground. They were completely destroyed by the chickens, and it's really annoying. So therefore today I'm gonna raise the edge to 1.8 meters or 6 feet, I think, yeah, 6 feet high, so that hopefully they won't jump over it anymore. So that is one of the steps that I want to explain, but then the other ones are how to actually build the coop and how much space the chickens need. Now when you enter into our chicken coop, you can see this beautiful plant and the bow we are trying to grow full. So it's now almost been 2 years that this is growing, and it's almost full now. You can see the leaves are all the way at the top, or the branches, so it's now just waiting to fill in. Yeah, so we have a little gate here to enter, and here you can see the spikes that I was talking about, just so that the chickens cannot jump on top and stay on top here. I've removed all the other ones because, as I said, I'm raising the gate. But yeah, so this is what we had, but it's very narrow beams with little screws, and they just tend to break and fall. So yeah, when you look, there's obviously a big tree in the center, and there's a shed to the side. So the problem for us is here that we cannot put a roof over it. Ideally you would want to put a roof over it. Also, I'm tall, and then, you know, making roof over it is annoying. We try to put a net from the roof of the shed along the tree and then over here, but again, you know, it's just annoying. Then when looking here, we have a little feed container here where the chickens can eat their food. One thing I would say is don't overfeed them, because the problem that you're gonna get is that the chickens will just spill everything out and not eat any of it, and then your ground is just gonna rot with the food and the seeds and everything that's there, and it's just gonna smell horrible. I just cleaned out most of it, and it's a combination of puke and shit. It's really disgusting. So I would highly recommend, don't feed the chickens too much. They also need to look, and I mean, you know, chickens are very very easy animals. If you like a dog but you cannot have a dog because you're away too much, for example, like we are, chickens are a very good replacement because they are very self-sufficient, but when you're there, they're very dependent, or they can be very dependent. So for example, when I'm in the garden doing my stuff, then the chickens will just come and they would play around, and they would stand next to you, generally there where you want to put your foot, so you step on them all the time. So that's a little bit annoying, but I mean, they're easy to pet, and yeah, so generally speaking, chickens are really nice, also for the kids. And so yeah, chickens is a great way, and obviously you get eggs, and after about 2 years they stop laying eggs, so then you can, if you want, you can eat them. But yeah, that is something else. A funny thing actually, here's my strawberry bed. They don't eat strawberries, and they don't actually eat a lot of the fruits and the food that we are growing here. But what they do is they dig. As you can see here again, they dig these trenches and these holes that they're gonna lie into and basically bathe themselves in. And yeah, so that is something to keep in mind. So what I generally do, here you can see a little bit, the ground is a little bit wonky, and it's because what I do is I stick a tool in there to lift the ground up, and the chickens will run straight at it, and they will try and catch all the worms that are in there. So yeah, that is a fun exercise to do with the chickens to get them to eat all the worms. And they really like, for example, as well, if you have leaves and stuff that you need to get disposed of, you have this little pile. We call it a compost hope, so for composting. Yeah, chickens like that because there's a lot of insects in there, like worms, for example. So chickens really like that. Now, another thing is that we in the Netherlands say, als de kippen erbij zijn, meaning running towards it and really be proactive and wanting to understand what's happening everywhere. That is really true. I mean, if you drop a ball, for example, when you're playing with your kids, the chickens will be there. If you throw something, the chickens will be there. They're really, if something falls or drops or whatever, the chickens run straight to it, no fear whatsoever. It's really funny to see, especially the way how they run. But yeah, so chickens are really fun. We don't have a rooster, by the way. I think a lot of people will have a rooster. We don't, for the specific reason that, well, first of all, they don't lay eggs, and second of all, they make a hell of a noise. So we didn't want to do that to the neighbors. So we just have 4 chickens. Is that a downside? Yes, because as you can see, we now have only 1 chicken out of the 4 left. So a rooster might have done something there. However, actually all 3 of them died because they basically either didn't pay attention to a buzzard in the tree, or they didn't come home in time, let's say, whereas they were locked out, and then they had to sleep somewhere outside. And yeah, basically a fox or something else got them and ate them. So yeah, that is basically what's happening to those chickens there. So here you can see our vegetable garden, and it's adjacent to the chicken coop. In the chicken coop area we have a little storage shed for my firewood and my wheelbarrow and the feed, obviously. Now, talking about the feed, please put it in very airtight containers so that no rats and mice can get into it. Okay, let's walk in through the gate, and now we have here basically the chicken coop itself. My wife wanted a coop like this. I personally would never buy something like this. I would made it myself, and I would just have potentially bought the coop area where the chickens are sleeping and laying their eggs, and everything else I would leave, because people generally say chickens need about 1 square meter, and then in the advertisement they would say that this little chicken coop would be sufficient for 4 chickens. Now, my chickens are quite big, and so this is not enough at all for 4 chickens. It's not even close. So this space that I have here fenced off for the chickens is approximately from here to there, I think 3.5-4 meters wide. So that is then 12 feet, I think, from the top of my head. And then lengthwise, from the corner there to the corner there, it is about I think 6 meters, so that's 18 feet, something like that. Okay, then yeah, when you look at the coop, first thing that we did is we put another couple of layers of black paint over it, and then the other thing is that we did is at the bottom we put tar, and tar is preventing the water from ingressing and starting to rot the wood. It was painted already once, but it was advised to paint it again. Actually, the original color was orange, and now it's black, as you can see, because that's just what we had lying around. And with the tar, it's fine. You cannot really see it. Then the other thing is that I have bricks underneath it, so the coop is actually not standing on sand, even though it looks like it because the chickens are digging so much, but it's actually standing on stone. And then below it, about 20 centimeters below it, there's actually gauze under the chicken coop, let's say, so that nothing can dig in from underneath, basically, because there's gauze preventing them from digging under the stones and getting into the chicken coop. Now, that same principle applies here. So as you can see, I have a coarser mesh and then a finer chicken mesh below. And the chicken mesh is actually, again, going into the ground. And also, again, about 20 centimeters or let's say 8-inch into the ground, to ensure that the chicken coop or nothing can dig under the fence and go into the fence that way. Now, initially we had a little bit of a flower bed behind the chicken coop here, so we have some flowers standing here, and we are going to remove this now, or make it part of the chicken coop. So from that beam, that post that is there, to the other post near to the gate, that's going to be now all 1.8 meters high, and then this little area here as well is going to be 1.8 meters high. So that's what I'm doing today. Now if you look at the chicken coop, this again is quite a cheap one, and the problem is all the wood is very thin. As you can see, this wood is about less than half, I think it's like a 1/4 inch or 8 mil thick wood, and as you can see here, it breaks off. Here you can see the orange color that it originally was. So yeah, that's the original color, and then everywhere where it's black we painted it, so you can see all the nails and everything just lets go, and it's annoying. So this is a nest box, and for some reason they also take shit in it every time. So as you can see, we have 2 eggs, so we need to fix that. And so there's basically sawdust with the sticks that they can sleep on, or the bars that they can sleep on. And when you make bars to sleep on, don't make them round, because chickens cannot hold on to it. So here you can see the top side is rounded, but the bottom side is flat. And then they have this little staircase to get into the night coop, and we can close it off here, and also there's additional doors. So what I'm thinking of doing, I haven't convinced my wife yet, but is to also make a chicken coop area here, so that we have 3 laying areas where the chickens can lay eggs, and then via this door I can also get this egg out. That then at least the chickens have 3 eggs where they can, or 3 places where they can lay eggs. Now, important for cleaning is that the bottom here of your coop needs to be able to open, so you can get to all the things they excrement. So that is, I think, about the chicken coop. Now this one also has a roof on top where we can store some stuff. However, for me personally, I would just have either bought the night part of it and raised it on some beams or some stones or whatever, and then made sure that that is a nice smooth water resistant wood. I would personally have used, in Dutch it's called betonplex. It is like a very smooth, well water resistant wood that we normally use for building molds for concrete. So if we need to pour concrete pillars, for example, you would use betonplex to make that. So that is basically the material. It's quite expensive, but as I said, it's very smooth, and it is water resistant, so it's nice for the chicken coop. The reason why I'm saying that is that especially I think in smaller coops, when the chickens are really stuffed together, they are prone to get blood lice, for example. Here they have more than enough space, in my opinion, and so we haven't had any issue at all with lice or whatever. As a summary, if you want to protect your vegetable garden, make a proper fence for your chickens and give your chickens plenty of space. I believe, it's not scientifically proven or anything, but I believe if the chickens have enough space, they won't as easily get lice and stuff like that will hurt them and will make it really disgusting. Obviously clean the chicken coop often, and also just take out the shit every couple days, because it smells quite bad if you don't. And have a different pair of shoes so you can walk in through the mud. And make the sides of the coop high, and ensure that under the coop you have gauze so that nothing can crawl up into the coop. I would, as I have it, raise the coop so that it's not standing in the sand and the mud, but it's actually standing on stone, and put tar on the bottom bottom 2 inches of the coop, so that the water and the dust and everything that is flicking up, as you can see, is mostly covered by the tar. Then don't feed too much, because chickens will otherwise not eat all the food. And then also you obviously need water for the chickens. So you can make it as expensive as you want. If you have some wood lying around, you can make the night coop yourself. It's not difficult at all. And then the rest is just, if you have a little bit of shading for them, that's fine. It doesn't have to be fancy. You need a little bit of straw and a little bit of sawdust and some feed. So again, you can make it as expensive as you want, but generally speaking, it's quite simple. Main thing is keep the fences high and preferably enclosed completely for animal activity, but also for them constantly escaping, which is annoying. And as I said, they poop everywhere and they dig everywhere. So in one sense it's fine, in the other sense it's annoying, especially if your vegetable garden is right next to it, like in our case. Well, a little bit different, but I think it fits with the prepping. Having some animals for food is something that we need to consider. We now have chickens for a year, and the lessons I've learned so far and the experience that I got from people I talked to, I try to explain in this video. I hope this helps you. If you're considering chickens, it is very easy. Chickens are very gentle, and it's if you have the space, I would highly recommend that you do it. It's not a lot of work to have chickens, especially if you already have a garden. You just walk out in the morning, check their feed, give them a little bit of water, check if there's eggs, and that's it. And once or twice a week you clean out the coop, and you clean up the shit that's inside a little bit, and that's it. It's not difficult at all. Building the coop, you can make it as difficult as you want. A lot of people will, for example, make a smaller coop on wheels that they can drive around, and they have a friend of mine, for example, has a big field of grass, and he just drives the coop around and then has the option to open up and have like a flexible fence that he can put around it. That's also an idea. And obviously it depends on how big your chickens are. My chickens are reasonably big, so therefore we have quite a big pen, and I think they need it. Hope this helps. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.